Hello. It's been a good day. I just kind of been hanging out and relaxing today after I cleaned and thought I'd do a couple videos. This one, um, I actually wrote down stuff for a change. I want to try to be more structured, but still speak from my heart and from my point of view. Of course, always my point of view. Not all people are the same, but I think generally speaking, women will agree with this. So, and I'm always open to other opinions. But I want to talk about qualities that women find irresistible in men. Um, and for me, I think that the biggest one, or maybe the first one that I find very irresistible and attractive, and it also helps build the trust factor in a relationship, um, is a man's ability to make a woman feel safe. And um, there's different aspects of feeling safe. Um, and I'll use my personal experience, or me personally. Um, I I become very anxious, and I know I'm working on this. I've always been one to kind of feel uneasy, like especially when I'm around a bunch of like men. I feel anxious. That's why it took me time to like get a gym membership and start going to the gym. I just use that as an example because gyms are full of testosterone, let's be real, and it makes me feel anxious. And I'm really trying to work on this. But I'm not one to like linger in big crowds. Um, I'm naturally an introvert, so I'm naturally, I'm very careful about my energy or letting people in my energy. Um, and that's just me, it's nothing, about any particular person, or it's just how I am. I'm very careful about my energy. So for me, feeling safe, physically feeling safe, um, those would be examples of that. If I feel safe out in public, if he makes me feel safe in public places where I would be most anxious, that is definitely an irresistible quality. Um, physically safe, of course, sticking up for me publicly, things like that are important. And I think for most women, if somebody's talking crap about a woman, it shows how much he respects her and values her when he can say, hey, don't talk about her. She's my whatever, friend, girlfriend, whatever. Things like that. That all kind of falls in the same category. And then, of course, emotionally safe. And I say this a lot, um, emotional safety is important. You want to make her feel like she can come to you and talk to you about anything without shutting her down, without um, making her feel less than, because for some of us it takes courage to open up and to be emotionally vulnerable, and because that's, for women that's really where, and I think for men too, but more so for women, that's the feminine energy. It takes a lot, especially if they've been hurt time and time again in this area, for them to finally be emotional and open up and be vulnerable with you. And also, the more you do this, the more you make her feel safe. It builds the trust between the two of you. It builds trust. Just being around somebody who makes you feel safe, It's definitely the top quality that I personally look for, and that I find irresistible, is somebody who makes me feel safe. Um, it's super important. Um, Even for strong women, it holds a lot of weight. Um, and then the second one that I felt was a man who has ambition and drive. And it doesn't matter where he's at in life. It's irresistible to me, um, for a man to have ambition, have aspirations, have in be moving towards those things. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't mean he's already there, because I don't think that any of us should ever already be at our goal in life, because once you do, what else is there to live for? So I like to I find it irresistible, someone who has ambition, they're determined, and that takes courage to me. It takes courage for a man to have drive and ambition, and not give up. Um, he's always strives to be a better person. Um, and I'm one to meet, and not all women do this either, but I'm one to meet somebody where they're at. If everybody goes through things, but it's so irresistible to see a man courageous enough to continue having ambitions, and to push forward in whatever his dreams are. It's really super irresistible, and it's very attractive. Um, Three is, it should be a human nature for us to be this way, but for me, it kind of it's like smoothing around the edges for me. It's bringing out the little femininity that he has as a man, and he still is a strong man. This, to me, this is shows me how strong of a man he is. He can be in his masculine, the provider and the protector, but a man who is kind and selfless, just how he treats other people around him, his core of kindness. What does he do? His selflessness, what has he done for others? The sacrifices he's made. And especially his kindness and selflessness towards his children. That is so important. I mean, it brings my emotion. I'm sorry, I'm like tearing up here, but for me, that is so irresistible to see a man who is kind to others, especially his own children. It's to be opposite of that is, it's toxic. Like, so yeah, kindness and selflessness are super attractive and irresistible for me. And then the fourth one, and once, the trust is built in the relationship, or once there's trust built, with the abilities to make me feel safe, or make a woman feel safe. I keep using me because these are mine. Some women may have different ones, but I think, like I said earlier, generally speaking, women, this will resonate with them. But, and once the trust factor is built, she is able to trust his ability to lead the relationship. And I say this with a lot of enthusiasm and seriousness, but once a woman feels that, or once she trusts you enough to lead a relationship, and she's able to rely on you, and she has, trust in you with her emotions, and, um, things like that. And there's that their level of communication that's open, and just the trust thing that's important, and the respect. Once that's established, um, she will trust in your ability to lead and she will follow. Um, and I think at this point she's fallen. She will follow you. She has fallen, and that trust, that's a huge thing for women these days, is to be able to trust a man enough to take the lead. And doesn't mean that she's not independent, in certain aspects. Doesn't mean that, she has to have you, but she wants you, and she trusts you enough to take charge. And of course she needs you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, this takes courage for her. And then, of course, the trust. It takes courage for you, for a man too, to take the reins and lead, because that takes a tremendous amount of trust, especially for a woman who has been independent, who has been let down by men who failed her in this area, and the other areas too. So this really is a big one, is your ability to lead and take charge. And then number 5, of course, this is not so generally speaking, but I find it irresistible, how a man presents himself. How does he look? How is he respectful, generally speaking? Of course, everybody has their own personality quirks, and, they have their own personality, and they express that in different ways. But how does he present himself in his appearance and his communication with other people? Is he respectful? Does he keep himself presentable? Take care of himself? He has good hygiene. What is he doing for himself? So those are the 5 things that I found. Most women probably find irresistible men, and I'll go back. Ability to make her feel safe, so safety, emotionally and physically. Having ambition and drive, striving to be better, striving to be his best, no matter where he's at. I'm not talking, and I'll go back. I'm not talking about highly educated or things like that. To me, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing are, what are your dreams, and what are you doing about them to reach those goals and dreams. And kindness and selflessness towards others, especially his children. To me, that is a huge thing. And the ability to lead the relationship. That's huge. And then how a man presents himself. How does he treat people, new people that he meets, and other people he sees, and takes care of himself overall, and his care and hygiene, etc. So anyway, I'll probably be on here with qualities that men look for or find irresistible in women. Now I have to think about this, because I have to look at it from a different angle, obviously, and really think about it. So we'll see. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope it resonates. So have a good Saturday evening.